As the House Oversight Committee continues its review of the Epstein files, newly released documents are raising fresh questions about the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. While his death was officially ruled a suicide in 2019, recent disclosures have added new layers of controversy to a case that has never fully quieted public skepticism. According to documents released by the United States Department of Justice, prosecutors prepared an announcement regarding Epstein's death dated August 9, 2019. However, official records state that Epstein was found unresponsive in his cell on the morning of August 10, 2019. The document in question originated from the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York and clearly displays the August 9th date. While some observers suggest this could have been a clerical or typographical error, critics argue that such a discrepancy in a high-profile federal case naturally invites scrutiny. Further attention has focused on surveillance footage from the Metropolitan Correctional Center, where Epstein was being held. Newly disclosed DOJ materials reference an observation logged at approximately 10:39 p.m. on August 9th. Investigators reviewing video footage reportedly noted an orange-colored figure moving up a staircase toward the secured tier where Epstein's cell was located. This detail was not prominently addressed in earlier public summaries of the case. Reporting by CBS News highlighted the observation log entry, which described a flash of orange ascending the stairs and suggested it could possibly have been an inmate escorted to that tier. However, interpretations of the footage appear to differ among agencies. An FBI log described the image as possibly an inmate, while the Inspector General's documentation characterized it as an unidentified corrections officer carrying orange linen or bedding. The final report from the Department of Justice's Office of the Inspector General stated that at approximately 10:39 p.m., an unidentified correctional officer appeared to walk up the stairway and came into camera view shortly thereafter. Notably, earlier public statements had asserted that no one entered Epstein's housing tier that night. Then Attorney General Bill Barr publicly stated that no one entered the tier. Similarly, former Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino said during an appearance on Fox News that surveillance footage clearly showed Epstein as the only person entering or leaving the area. The orange figure referenced in the newly disclosed logs was not mentioned in those earlier public remarks. Independent video analysts consulted by CBS reportedly suggested that the movement and coloration seen in the footage were more consistent with someone wearing an orange inmate uniform, rather than a corrections officer. Additionally, some prison employees told reporters that escorting an inmate to that tier at that hour would have been highly unusual. An internal presentation referenced in the document release suggested that corrections officer Tova Noel was believed by investigators to have been carrying linen up to the tier. However, the 2023 Inspector General report did not definitively identify her as the individual captured in the footage. In interviews, Noel reportedly stated that distributing linen was not part of her assigned duties, and that such tasks were typically handled during an earlier shift. Questions have also resurfaced regarding the alleged noose used in Epstein's death. Correctional Officer Michael Thomas told investigators that he found Epstein in a hanging position shortly after 6:30 a.m. on August 10th and removed him from that position. When asked about the noose, Thomas reportedly said he did not recall removing it from Epstein's neck. Tova Noel stated that she did not see a noose around his neck. According to the Inspector General's findings, a noose collected at the scene was later determined not to be the ligature responsible for the fatal injuries. The absence of clear documentation regarding the exact ligature used has fueled further debate. Official reports maintain that Epstein died by suicide sometime before 6:30 a.m., though no precise time of death was established. His body was discovered during morning rounds when breakfast was being delivered. Previous investigations had already identified serious procedural failures at the facility, including guards failing to conduct required checks and surveillance cameras experiencing malfunctions. Another dimension of the case involves Epstein's former cellmate, Nicholas Tartaglione, who later filed a pardon petition alleging that Epstein was deliberately left unprotected in federal custody. Tartaglione claimed that despite Epstein having previously expressed concerns about his safety, he was housed in proximity to individuals accused of violent crimes. Records show that Epstein had previously been placed on suicide watch following an earlier incident, but was later removed from that status. While the official conclusion remains that Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide, the newly released documents, conflicting interpretations of surveillance footage, discrepancies in documentation dates, and unanswered questions about physical evidence continue to generate public debate. With congressional review ongoing and additional materials gradually entering the public record, scrutiny of the case remains intense. Whether future investigations will resolve these lingering questions remains uncertain, but the case continues to stand as one of the most controversial federal custody deaths in recent American history.